Good morning. This is the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Wednesday, November 28th. This is meteorologist Basil Numerzycki. Looking at the past 7 days of precipitation, on the left, areas in the green to the gold indicate a ½ to an inch and a half of melted precipitation for the week, and across the Sierra much more, so things are picking up. Still quite dry across the southern half to southern third of the Great Basin, where little precipitation occurred. On the right-hand side, you can see how much below normal still, drier, and still some good surface burning conditions for some of the higher terrain areas of southern and southeastern portions of Utah and into parts of southern Nevada as well. Elsewhere, quite moist, more conducive to pile burning. New snowfall on the left in the past 72 hours. The yellowish to orange shades indicate anywhere from 6 to 12 inches of new snowfall. And that's in addition to the snowpack on the right, which across the higher terrain of Idaho indicates anywhere from 1 to 2 feet of snow on the ground. Locally higher amounts across the mountains of western Wyoming, maybe up to 3 feet or more. And 1 to 2 feet now across the higher terrain of the Uintas and the highest terrain of the Wasatch, as well as parts of the Sierra Front as well. So things are starting to pick up and looking more wintry. You can see that on the satellite imagery. No high pressure in sight, a broad, moist storm track stretching from Utah all the way back out through California and out into parts of the Pacific. We have one system moving through Utah right now, another one pushing into California, a third one off the west coast, a more powerful one. So for the next 3 to 5 days, it'll be quite cloudy, moist, and stormy across most of the Great Basin. You can see that on the left-hand imagery, the heights and the green indicates the cloud cover and moisture that's moving into a good portion of the Great Basin. You can see the current system over the Great Basin now, and a more powerful storm off the coast will basically congeal into one large continuous system. Dispersion overall will be pretty good. A little tricky here on the ventilation index. It's factoring in some cloud cover and inversions, but overall mixing should be good the next couple of days. Transport winds on the left, other than some isolated inversion areas out of the south-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. As we go into Thursday, we see that storm system deepening. You see that moisture stretching from the Pacific all the way to Colorado. A dry tongue of air, drier air across the good portion of Idaho into western Wyoming. Overall dispersion on the right-hand side, nothing really too low. Some areas of purple here in Nevada, mostly associated with light winds and maybe some rain-cooled surface inversions. So otherwise, decent overall dispersion. You can see on the left-hand side, the transport winds are starting to pick up from the southwest across parts of southern Nevada into the Arizona Strip and southern Utah. The purples indicate winds as high as 40 miles per hour at the transport level. Vertical mixing, again, overall good, especially in the southern areas, especially in the Snake River Plain. A little lower across northern Utah, northern Nevada. That's due mostly to cloud cover. Actually, it'll be dispersion-wise not too bad. And we continue to have pretty good conditions, cool and moist again on Friday. One storm system here in Colorado, lingering moisture and precipitation across Utah, a break across Nevada, another storm system plowing into northern California and Oregon, all basically connected, so to speak. The ventilation index on the right-hand side, lots of areas of white, yellow to red, very few large areas of purple. So overall, in this kind of a pattern, some good dispersion. On the transport winds on the left, you see the northwest wind flow kicking in across Idaho and northern Nevada, still west to southwest across parts of Utah, but overall pretty strong transport flow, the exception being across western Wyoming and parts of eastern Idaho. Mixing will be lowest there as well, but good overall vertical mixing across most of the Great Basin. Now the Utah Clearing Index, so worst levels in the purple, best areas in the red, indicates gradually Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, overall improving dispersion, more areas in the yellow, orange, and red over a larger area. The lowest dispersion areas will continue to linger out towards Price and some of those areas in eastern Utah, especially in the valley bottoms. But overall, on the mid to upper slopes, dispersion should be pretty good. Over the next 3 days, this goes from today through Saturday morning. Significant amounts of precipitation, 1 to 2 inches of precipitation for the higher terrain of Utah, and similar amounts across higher terrain of Nevada, the Rubies, and into the Sierra Front, even wetter. Slightly less across the mountains of central Idaho, only a couple hundredths of an inch up there. It's going to be more of an El Nino type storm track with the heaviest amounts further to the south. This continues on Saturday. There's that storm track deepening on Saturday. More precipitation moving into Nevada and into parts of western Idaho. Storm swings on through into Utah, into parts of eastern Idaho and Wyoming on Sunday. And finally, some drier air is going to push into Nevada, the western Great Basin on Monday. Still lingering clouds and some light precipitation across the eastern areas on Monday. On Tuesday, the storm system off the coast continues to pull in some more moisture. Again, best cloud cover and moisture across the southern half of the Great Basin, but actually some here in Idaho as well. There'll be some breaks in between, but precipitation should not be too heavy in the extended, just maybe a tenth to a quarter inch more in most areas, but there could be some more later in the period. And that trend continues, the 8 to 14 day outlook from December 5th through the 11th. Cooler than normal temperatures across the Great Basin. Also wetter than normal, especially across the western Great Basin, but also wetter chances slightly higher across the eastern areas as well. So a cool, wet pattern continues into early December as well. This concludes our briefing. Our next briefing will be this coming Friday. Have a great day.